We're noting that we're starting the webinar with a rather somewhat somber note, reminder of why we're doing what we're doing in the climate sector, in the DRR sector. Extreme precipitation events like Tropical Cyclone Idai have got potential to cause severe damage and loss of life. And we're honored today to have Dr. Nsadisa Faka to take us through how a climate center can produce information that can inform an extreme precipitation event. And he will be giving us a case study for what they did with the Tropical Cyclone Idai, the sort of warnings that they issued, the analysis that they did, and so on. Dr. Faka holds a PhD in hydrometeorology and climate risk management, and he has a combined academic, professional, and international experience as a climate expert with more than 25 years in the field. We're looking at both early warning and climate information generation, as well as risk assessment, climate risk assessment, project management, and lecturing. He has worked for promoting climate resilience for sustainable development and has also contributed significantly on the development of the Southern African Regional Climate Outlook Forum for over a decade now, I believe. So with that, I would like to ask you colleagues to help me welcome Dr. Nsadisa Faka.
Yes, thank you, colleagues, for your time and to come to share this experience. Of course, I'm going really to give what did we do during the last extreme event of a cyclone Idai. So my presentation will give a bit the CSC mission, what is the infrastructure for tracking or monitoring the extreme event at CSC. We'll see also the tropical cyclone path wave tracking, the alert we issued, some challenge, and some few words at the conclusion. With SADC region, which is covering from DRC up to the island. We have Mauritius, Madagascar, Seychelles, and now we have also Comoros. Sorry for this wrong map, which is not showing Comoros. So we have got now 16 member states. You know that the SADC region is the to a large variety of natural hazard and disaster, about 8% related to meteorological and hydrological factors. So the main hazard and disaster in the region include tropical cyclone, is the one we are going to discuss. We have also recurrent drought event in the region. At the same time, so we are facing for this extreme event on the cyclone. Other countries are still really trying to cope on the drought threatening their asset. For example, the agricultural sites and the hydrological. For SADC CSC mission, according to this area of disaster risk management, CSC has the principal goal to provide input to disaster risk reduction process and warning for disaster risk management. So climate information, as you are aware, is very useful as a core element in terms of the all step in disaster risk management, starting by risk assessment, prevention, preparedness, and recovery. All those steps, you need to have somewhere the climate information to help you to strategize on your business. So the role of CSC, effectiveness of the early warning system in the region. Our role is to detect, monitor, and to forecast extreme events in order to mitigate the adverse impact of extreme climate variability on socioeconomic development, to issue the warning and alert for prominent disaster risk foreseen, monitoring, detecting, and forecasting climate extreme event. We provide climate information application services to multiple user sectors, hydrologists, food security, health, and so on. We conduct training and capacity building for member states on how to generate and to apply climate information. We organize that climate outlook forum for the SADC region. And also we enhance the interaction between users and the producers during the SACOF meeting. Let's see the CSC N1 infrastructure. For what we are going to talk about, we are receiving data from UMESCAST system, where we get all the input through that network, which is coming to our system. We've got a receiver, synergy, and from that synergy, we are connecting this to the Puma station to our climate database, where we generate the monitoring and the follow-up. The current model we are using is from the ECWF model, where we are downscaling with satellite-based products to get the more corrected output. And also in the graph, you can see that we have got the website where all our data products are pushed on. People can go to the website and get all that for the forecast, for the analysis and the other product we are issuing. This is really also to talk about the same things, the integrated climate dissemination system, where we're getting all those data and to transfer to our higher competence centers. And also we have a platform for the monitoring, where the synergy system is working on, and also the public weather service to push to the website for the multi-users purpose. Of course, we have also a center, a training center, where member states are coming for upgrading their knowledge in the business. And we are based in Gaborone. So disaster risk management project regions have got, I can say, at this stage, the first one, the early warning system, the early information to be given in the beginning of the season, as our rainfall season starts mostly in August, and in October, but we organize the meeting in August, so 1 month ahead to give the long-term outlook. And we organize also the training, that's what we call the SACOF process. After issuing the outlook, there is a pre-season planning organized by our colleague from Disaster Risk Management Unit to assess the impact of the upcoming outcome, the upcoming season, and to make prevention and preparedness in terms of the contingent plan. And the last stage is the disaster. If really the disaster happened, what can be done? We have the response, recovering, rehabilitation, and the post-season lesson learned. These are the 3 stages of disaster risk management in the SADC region. So we get set with the system forecast. We update the forecast to see if the outlook issued in August is still turning to be correct, or there's some adjustment. And if there is a short event which is really alerting people by 1 week, there is something will happen, that's where we issue the short alert, where we are going to talk now. This one is just to show Idai pathway tracking, which started as a tropical depression over the coastal Zambezi province in Mozambique. It started overland and moving towards northward, and it reached south Malawi almost at 6 March, where it was well fed again by the lake, the moisture from the lake, and on 7th, it already poured down a lot of heavy rains, which brought even the government in Malawi to declare emergency state on 8th March. From 9th, it reached the warm, it came back from the continent and moved again to the ocean until to reach somewhere to our Madagascar, and it made a U-turn, surprisingly, to come back to the continent, as you can see on the graph, and it landfall on 15th over Beira, central Mozambique, where he made all those consequences. The whole network in the internet and the website is giving the figure. So what was our role? This alert was showing already the heavy rainfall will be concentrated in the central Mozambique and also covering the south Malawi and crossing the northern part of Zimbabwe. And this product was issued through that model, I said, we downscale with satellite-based information to get the extreme event. The blue color indicates rainfall more than 60 millimeters, where it shows already a risk of flooding because, according to WMO, a rainfall of over event. So with this product, we can see where there was risks of extreme event, especially where there is the blue color. That one was issued on 5th March, and we sent the product to the National Meteorological Department for them to issue the national alert. And we continue monitoring the system with the model and also the satellite-based image. And the second alert was issued on 11 March, now announcing that tropical depression has been qualified to the tropical cyclone. And more or less, the landfall was expected on 15 March over central Mozambique and eastern Zimbabwe. That one was the second alert issued on 11, telling people that is very confirmed according to the model that the landfall will happen around 15 March 2019. And we showed through this graph where the heavy rain will happen so that people can take all actions. The green one, the sign is the watch where the extension of the impact could reach. And the green is that caution. The affected area from Mozambique, Malawi, and eastern part of Zimbabwe. Now, we issued at our site the early warning information. The problem is now to know how did this product being used by the end users. That one, we need a post-event impact assessment on the use of the alert. We have not yet commissioned any study to go on ground and to check to see exactly did the product reach the end users how did they use it to prevent or to mitigate the impact of the event? So what we as a SADC region, we issued an appeal, a humanitarian appeal, to show people that the region was affected. Our domestic resource is not enough to cater to this disaster. And this one was the data we put in our summary as the impact of the cyclone Idai. In Malawi, we can count of 868,900 people was affected, almost 9,000 people displaced, and we record 6 deaths in Malawi, and 672 people were injured. In Mozambique, where the case was really very severe, we can see almost 2 million people were affected, almost 110,000 people were displaced, and we record so far almost 600 dead and 1,500 people injured. And in Zimbabwe, almost 300,000 people were affected. Displaced was 4,500. And so far also, we recorded almost 200 dead and 175 people injured. So we can see that the main consequence of this extreme event was located over Mozambique, where the cyclone landfall. What is the challenge as a center, as a region? We are seeing that to improve the early warning system, we need really to finance the National Meteorological Department and the Regional Climate Center to carry out their mandate. Sometimes those departments are underfound, and it can't help them really to manage an extreme event like a cyclone, which is really evolving in a high speed. The second problem also we are raising here, problem in communication for data collection, exchange of both information within the country at the regional level. For now, we're using internet, but you know that many countries, internet connection is a challenge. So the information can reach. If there is not connections, it becomes a problem. I think the region must think beyond the internet facility. How can we have a specialized connection to telecommunication system where the information can reach on time and be disseminated also on time? So the problem in this stage is the communication tool, which is not really very effective. The third challenge is the inadequate coverage and the sustainability of observing system for monitoring the meteorological hazard, especially for the cyclone event. We need, by using the numerical weather prediction, we need the ground data, which can be ingested in the model to give us a good, accurate product. If there is not a good coverage of the ground data, we can have a good model, but when we are trying really to downscale that model and to really reduce the bias in that model, it will become a challenge. That is also another constraint. The region is not yet well covered in terms of network coverage. The next challenge also we are having is inadequate level of technical capacity. resources, expertise to generate appropriate policy relevant to climate information and operational to warning service. That is also another area, especially in numerical weather prediction, where cyclone can be dealt with. That is the area we need more training, even at the national level. If there is assistance, I think that should be one of the areas to improve the capacity at the national and the regional center. Also, we are having another problem of maintenance and calibration of equipment. Today, we are receiving more opportunity with automatic weather station. Many suppliers, many bilateral arrangements are providing our member state with those equipment to monitor our environment. But if we don't have a calibration equipment, there is no way we can really certify that those manufacturing automatic weather stations are complying with WMO requirement. So we need a center for calibration. There was a center at Botswana here, but unfortunately, that center doesn't operate due to technical and financial constraints. So we need to rehabilitate that center to make sure that all the equipment in the region are calibrated, because it's observing the wrong status of the atmosphere. The model will ingest that wrong data and will give us the wrong product as the focus. So maintenance and the calibration equipment is one of the areas we need really to put resource, because the center is lacking that kind of facility, or the region, for extent, the region is lacking that kind of facility. As I said, for now we are using internet connectivity, but in our member state, internet connectivity is a challenge. So that is also another area we are trying how to improve the internet connectivity. Thanks to African Development Bank under SAWIDRA, we are having a small provision to upgrade some member states for their internet connectivity. For this case, we are going to upgrade 7 countries only, because the resource is not enough. That is what I can list as a constraint to set up a good early warning system tracking cyclone event in our region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Faka, for this very enlightening presentation. You've really taken us through the processes that you went through, as well as the background to what the SADC Climate Services Center is doing. So I think just to give a quick summary of Dr. Faka's presentation, we have a couple of questions here, but I really enjoyed his, the way he presented the Ready, Set, Go framework. That includes the production of seasonal forecasts, their regular updates, as well as the alerts, respectively. And Dr. Faka noted how the SADC Climate Services Center issued early warnings well in time. Related to this, we had one question which was mentioning that an alert was issued on the 5th and the 11th of March 2018. I think that's what was written on the presentation, but the question was, how far in advance did the CSC alert system pick up the rainfall event? I think the 2018 probably was just a typo, but probably the second part of the question, you can respond to that in terms of how far in advance did you manage to pick up the extreme rainfalls?
Yes, thank you. Okay, for that question, if you see the template or the sample I showed, we issued our first alert on 5th March. Already in 5th March, we noticed that there was already an extreme event over that central part of Mozambique. That was the first event which started as the tropical depression, which made flooding in Malawi. the flooding in Malawi was not the result of the Idai cyclone. It was the result of the tropical depression. And that one, we noticed it. And we issued our first alert on 5th March. Of course, for the first one, the time ahead was very short because at 8, the heavy rain already occurred. But in the same times, on 11th March, we issued now the second alert, which was already precising that there is a cyclone is moving to a central part of Mozambique on 11. That's what I was saying. If I consider the first alert, which was issued at 5th, until the landfall on 15, almost 10 days before the event to happen. So we at the center to monitor, we're really on track, and we give the information almost 1 week before the event to happen.
Thank you for that response. We had one other comment, which was saying, thank you, Dr. Faka, for the presentation, for being proactive, and for the leadership. And that was from Simon. And then Lebo was saying he missed, or she missed, how long the CSC has been in place or is being applied. Maybe just a 1-minute answer so that we can catch up with time.
Sorry, come again. How long the CSC have what? I did not get you well. Sorry, come again.
System. I think this. I think it is referring to the forecasting system. How long the forecasting system has been in place or is being applied?
Okay. Yes, I'm getting you. Of course, this one is a new system we have started since last year. Last year, I think it should be around September after Sakov. Yes. After Sakov, when we started to monitor the rainy season, I did not mention here, our system also detected Desmond cyclone, which was before the Idai. And we issued also the alert 10 days also before Desmond to landfall over Mozambique. So the system started since September, where we have continued to see how can we improve it. As I said already, the challenge here is now, if we detect something, how fast member states can get that information and apply that knowledge to issue the warning at the national level. But at the center level, with thanks to ADB, as I said, we've got equipment where we can monitor, where we can have the satellite image, where we can have the modeled output, and to combine it with the downscaling one, and to see what is the accuracy of the model so that we can issue a product.
Thank you for that. And I think on that note, we can close out the first part of the session. Thanks again, Dr. Faka, for giving us a very thorough overview of the CSC operations.